afternoon, good morning. How is everyone? So in the last session, we had covered the basic interview questions, basic interview skills. Okay, so today I'm going to tell you about the STAR method, which is more detailed technique of interview skills, which a company or an interviewer, does it to analyze and to know you more, so that how well you are fit for the role. Okay, so what is it? STAR is situation, task, action, result. Now, any situation, any event, any project which you have challenged, you have faced in your life, what task or what goal you had decided, then what action you had taken and the result, the outcome of it. Okay? So again, describe the situation you were in, describe the task, for example, any challenges, any constraints you had faced in your life, so you can take that example. Then action, describe the action wherein, what action you took and the outcome wherein achievements, improvements you had taken. Okay. So the secret to acing your next job interview. For example, situation, what is the situation? Describe the situation you were in. And not a generalized one, particular situation you were in and then describe. Then coming to task. What goal, what task you had taken and then what action, describe the action wherein you had addressed that situation with focus on it. What did you do? And then the result, the outcome, okay, of your actions. So one thing, be very careful about, don't mention that the team did it. Don't mention that the team did it. You did it. So highlight you as a person, not the team or a group. Okay, another thing, whenever you explain that situation, try to put that in the STAR category. Situation, task, action, result. Okay? So I've taken an example here of one of my students. So he was facing a situation, a challenge wherein the advertising revenue for his college magazine was going down. The advertising companies were not coming to take the ads in the magazine. So that was a challenging situation. Now the task was, he took the goal as to generate new ideas, new material, new incentive, so that these companies come back to again take those ads in the college magazine and the revenue come again. Action. So he designed a new promotional material. He thought of new ideas so that the packet can go with the college magazine and he can achieve that goal. The result was he signed new contracts with 15 regular companies and the new ones, and the revenue generation was 20% increase. Now here I want to give you my example of my life. So in my college time, there was an inter-college fest happening. And I was, hosting the ad show, which was like, advertising ad show. It was a quiz show. And the chief guest had arrived in the middle of my ad show. He had come late and he had arrived in the middle. And we had to stop my show, my quiz show, so that we can invite him and give him the memento. And of course, the speech had to be given to him. But the challenging situation what happened was, which I also didn't know because it was not my responsibility. I was responsible for my show. So my batchmates who had organized the event, the whole college fest, they had missed, making the speech. And I was on the stage, so they told me to give the speech. I was like, first of all, I had this impression in my mind. But then later on, immediately I just took a breath. I was nervous inside, but I did not show this. So I somehow showed that, okay, I gave some activity to the participants of the show. And I moved a little bit back to the stage and told my batchmates. And as my nature, I was a friendly person, so people used to help me. So my batchmates, I told them that, please give me 3-4 lines, 2 to 3 lines about the profile of the chief guest. They gave it to me. I made 10 to 12 lines out of that. I gave the speech. I gave the memento. Everything went well. So here the situation was challenging. I took the task as how to manage it well in terms of the speech, how to make that speech, because that was very important. My mentor was ready. Action I took was, I was keeping myself calm. I went to the backstage. I told my batchmates to give me 2 to 3 lines about the chief guest, and I spoke about it. Then the result was, everything was managed well. Everybody appreciated me as a person, and said thank you to me. So it went off well. That was a challenging situation I had in my life, and I shared example with you. Similarly, you can think of any situation of your life, which I'll give you the activity later on, and you can think of any situation, put in this star category and try to build like a story. Okay, so how to prepare for the star method of interview? First of all, look for the job description you are going. Try to see, because the job description has a lot of answers. Actually, what the interviewer is looking for in you as a candidate, what qualities. So look for the job description. You will find what exactly he is looking for you, as qualities, and then you can make the analysis of your situation. Then choose a few strong, versatile example stories. So as I told you, take some examples of your life, make them as a story, put it in the star category, and that's how you prepare for it. Write down key details. So you can always make some points, notes, and then you can carry them to the interview place. That's okay. Then practice your storytelling. So practice as storytelling in front of the mirror. Be confident, be comfortable. Just as if it's actually your life example, but just narrate it, make it properly as a description in the flow. Don't rush yourself. So for example, even if you're struggling during the interview, it's okay. One of my interviewer, I was talking to the interviewer. So he told me it's okay if a candidate can take 2 minutes, can ask for 2 minutes. Sir, can I take 2 minutes to think about it and answer your question? You can do that. You don't need to be nervous and rush yourself and struggle with it. Recall any recent situations of your life and take it as an example, and then you can put it in the star. Prepare short descriptions of each situation. Be sure each story, as I've always told you in communication, make sure your story has a beginning, middle, and end. Okay? Be sure the outcome or result reflects you positively. So be sure outcome may be anything. Maybe you lost the game, the project you were doing it was not, the result was not good, but highlight yourself in a positive manner. Be honest, very important. If you are faking any example from your life, you will get to it. So be honest with any of the example you've taken from your life. Be specific. Okay, this is one common mistake a lot of candidates do. They generalize and they talk about many events at one point of time. Don't do that. Pick one situation, explain it properly, in short, in brief, specifically, and then go ahead. Don't mix many events at one point of time. Vary your examples. Okay? So think of many examples of your life. Just don't think of only one example. So that we'll have lot of examples from your life suiting the job description or the qualities he's looking for. Now these are some of the questions, behavioral interview questions, which I have made a list of. Describe a situation in which you were able to use persuasion to successfully convince someone to see things your way, or give me an example of a time when you set a goal and you were not able to meet or achieve it. Tell me about a time when you were faced with a challenging situation, how did you solve it? Right? So these are some questions wherein interviewers trying to check your qualities. So suiting these questions, you can think of an example from your life and put it in a method, star method, as I've told you, and make it. Right? So I'll share this list with you. Okay? So again, please discuss an important written document. For example, somebody is an experienced person Or give me a specific example of a time when you had to conform to a policy. For example, if a company has a policy and you don't agree with it. So, and what is your typical way of dealing with conflict? Very common question. For example, you have conflict at your home or with a friend. How do you manage it? How do you resolve it? How do you handle unexpected challenges? Explain a situation where you used data or logic to make a recommendation. So these are some qualities he's looking for. Relevant to the question, you can think of an example and make a situation out of it. Tell me about a time when you had to think on your feet in order to deal with the situation. You did not have time. But कोई ऐसी situation थी जो आपको एकदम से सोचना पड़ा. And how did you handle it? Okay, so I would like to conclude here that STAR method of answering behavioral interview questions is straightforward and one can excel in answering such questions after some practice. So you have to do this as a practice in front of mirror, as I told you. Make examples of your life in the STAR category and practice it so that you are confident and comfortable in an interview and you can answer those questions in a very confident manner. Now, there are recommendations I want to recommend you as I told you, tell the situation like a story. Right? Because all of us relate with stories. All of us relate with stories very well. So, in the flow, mention or describe the situation as a story and then put it in a STAR method. Right? Second is self-knowledge. The more you know yourself, the better it is. So because he's trying to know you more, he's trying to understand you. You cannot fake it because your body language will tell all about you. So he's trying to know more about you as a person, how well you fit into the company culture and the job description he's hiring you. Right? So self-knowledge is really the key element here. Okay? Now I want you to repeat, Okay, so Prashant, tell me the full form of STAR.
So the STAR method consists of situation, as for situation, T for task, A for action, and R for result.
Okay, Jatin?
Ma'am, the STAR method of interview is a combination of 4 elements, that is situation, task, action and result, which tells us that how good you are in dealing with different situations and how did you complete it and accomplish your task. Whether you have failed or passed, it doesn't matter, but how well you have faced that challenge.
Okay. Any questions, anybody?
Maybe STAR method related to an individual, it can be used for an organization as well.
So it is basically to analyze a candidate. So the company or the manager or interviewer uses this method to analyze a candidate.
It cannot be used for an organization. Like whether they have to deal with any situation, so they can use this model.
So for example,
Like there is a certain problem or any situation in a company, they have to go through it, so they can use this method. Like they can take an action against that, any task they can prepare, then they can get the result.
so I may elaborate your question a little bit. For example, what situation the organization must be that they have to use this method?
Like as you told in the example about the advertisement example. But if the situation is not related to a person, but it's related to the organization in advertisement.
Yeah, so in this example, the interviewer was not trying to analyze him, but it was an organization situation wherein the company or the college was going through a loss. And he analyzed the situation. It was a challenging situation for him because it was his responsibility.
On the behalf of the company.
Yes. So the example I had given to you, it was not that analyzing the candidate for an interview. It was his responsibility to, of course, the managers or the people in the organization can analyze any situation. Or for example, in your life also, you can use this method. It actually helps you in making better decisions and also analyzing the situation and how you can actually reach to the outcome. Yeah. So okay, any more questions?
Yes. Ma'am, in your presentation, when you were showing the questions related to the star method, ma'am, I noticed that you have asked or added that question. Tell us a situation where you have to fire your friend from the job. So, but basically the interviewer is asking what quality is he checking from asking that question.
He's trying to check your EQ level. So because firing a friend is the most difficult situation, or firing any person who's close to your heart, or you're emotionally attached with that person. So he's trying to check your EQ level, that can you take such tough decisions, even if your friend has done something wrong. And you need to scold him, you need to make him realize what his mistake is. And then again you can keep that friendship intact. So this shows that maybe you can be a good leader, you can be a good team player, that we all have emotional challenges in our life. Are you able to deal with these conflicts, these emotional challenges, and still go on with the relationship? So he's also trying to check your interpersonal skills. Yeah. So we'll do a small activity wherein I'll be an interviewer and I'll take a mock interview, and wherein you need to tell me the answer to the question in a star. Okay. So Prashant. Okay, so the question is, any challenging situation you had in your life and how did you deal with it?
Well, I had a challenging situation when I was doing my project in my psychology while doing internship under counseling services. The situation was that we were given a task or a presentation to prepare on behalf of a team in which we were represented to make a presentation on the poverty in contributing to our area. Like we have to look after the poor people and do a small data analysis on behalf of what is their one day income, like per day wages, are they below poverty line in comparison standards. So we were given that task to prepare, but this was the situation. But the main task was that my team with which I was working, they were not convinced or not, they were hesitant to took the charge and do the work along with us. So there were 5% in the team, me and 4 other and 1 team leader. I was not the team leader. But when we told the situation about our team, they were not taking the charge, not doing some work, not helping us in collecting the data and values about that. So it became a task situation that how we can perform this task, because we have got a deadline of a week and we have to present the situation in a week, preparation in a week and presentation. So it comes to me and one of my team leaders, because we were the only 2 which were doing the work and other one were not helping. So after some study we look after that until unless we do not convince them or confirm them, we will not be able to do the task and prepare the presentation. So after certain point of time, that TL also leaves the charge and he was loose in the work. So then it comes to me. Then I, on the behalf of the team, collected the data values. But after when they see me that I have collected the data values, I also convinced them that you should also take the charge. How it can help in future, like this presentation skill, we can develop some skills, and I became I do help them in getting the data and giving them proper stage to present the data, everything else. So after a certain point of time when the deadline was near, they all were doing the work collectively. On my behalf, they were again back with the team and doing the work. So coming on to the action was that we were able to prepare the presentation before the deadline, and we presented our presentation in front of the counseling services which we were working on for, and the result was that we were not ranked first, we were ranked second, but we were definitely and appreciated for the presentation, because everybody else presented a PowerPoint presentation, but we, on the behalf of the team, and that was my idea to present video animation presentation about that data, the poverty, and so that was the result, that we were able to present that presentation on the time, and we were appreciated for it.
Okay, nice.